Okay.
But give us your number
Fair
4.
enough. Number 4, Chris Jericho, now the Ocho, adding to his long list of
That's right.
nicknames. Which is or the honorable Chris Jericho, as he called himself a bunch on Rampage.
That's right, because he is the champion of the Ring of Honor.
Of the Ring of Honor.
The honorable Chris Jericho.
Which he won in a dishonorable way.
Very dishonorable way.
Which Daniel Garcia is very displeased with.
Yeah. Paul Turner, however, not that displeased, apparently. Or Tony Khan.
Yeah. So we'll see. No
worries.
So, so that's my I want to hear your theory. My question about that is, obviously it seems like some sort of move to bring higher profile to Ring of Honor for whatever reason. So my question is, does Chris Jericho as Ring of Honor champion help the brand, or is he essentially like the Big Show winning the ECW title, where you say, this just isn't Ring of Honor anymore?
I love that. I think it's dead center. It's in between. It's 50-50. I really was upset that he won. I really like Claudio as the champion.
Me too.
I think Claudio should immediately be skyrocketed up the card to a serious contender for the AEW title.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best Claudio I've ever seen. He's super hot right now. I love his high energy when he comes out to his high energy music. I love his promos. I love Claudio right now. I am all in.
Yeah.
And I did not want to see him lose. And I didn't want to see him lose to a guy who is not quite on his last legs, but is at the end of his career. And Chris Jericho, this is the last chapter right now.
Yeah.
I think what this means is ROH has secured a TV deal. Just like Chris Jericho was made the first AEW champion, so there would be a familiar face, a marketable property on this new TV show. I think they have a new TV deal, and they want him to be the face or the champion of the early days of ROH on TV.
Just
they
as he
can
was.
sell to whatever network that is.
Yeah.
We have Chris Jericho, one of the greatest of all time, a man who was champion in WWF, WWE, WCW, everywhere. And now ROH. That's what it hit me. That's what this means. They've got a TV deal. He's got to be their TV guy, because as is, you can't sell a network on Samoa Joe and Claudio.
No.
You can't.
No.
But you can sell them on Chris Jericho. They did it with TNT.
You can sell him as the guy who helped build. He was the champion when AEW launched. And
exactly.
So he's proven it with this team that he can do that. That makes a ton of sense. And
so I will be really surprised if we don't get an announcement very, very soon.
Yeah.
And a show coming maybe in the new year.
Even the gimmick ties in. You've got him being the anti wrestler, he's the sports entertainer.
He's the sports entertainer, and he has been at the top of the game.
Right.
He has led the promotion of every major wrestling promotion in American history.
Right.
Outside of the NWA.
Yes. And
he's the guy who's the head of this promotion, so sign us up, Reels.
Right.
Or whoever. Whoever. True TV.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I
still think True TV.
It could work. Knowing Tony Khan, I think he's already knowing other players. He probably already knows who he wants to beat Chris Jericho. It's probably not Claudio getting the title back. Here's my random thought, just to put in the bank now in case it comes true like 8 months from now or something. Mm-hmm. I think one of his long-term plans is to get Samoa Joe back as the face of that company.
Yeah.
And one little thing that happened, and this might just be total coincidence, is that I don't know if you ever noticed, but whenever Samoa Joe is on Rampage and Jericho's doing commentary, he always makes a point to say, I'm a huge fan of Samoa Joe, and sometimes he says there were times in his career that Samoa Joe was my favorite wrestler in the world,
which means
I think
Jericho clearly wants to work with him.
He wants to work with him. I think they love the idea of Samoa Joe being synonymous with Ring of Honor because of his history, and I think that's a way that's a feud they could build up with that. So that'll be interesting to see. Chris Jericho brand builder.
What do you think of a Chris Jericho versus Samoa Joe title match built on one of the classic Ric Flair Dusty Rhodes title matches?
Yeah.
I could absolutely see that happening and being done. That's just a thought that popped in my head, largely due to like Chris Jericho's a blonde technician and Samoa Joe is a much bigger guy,
yeah,
but can do a lot more than most big guys, which was something Dusty Rhodes was known for.
And you've got a little bit of the Horseman aspect to it. You know, you have Samoa Joe plowing through Daddy Magic, and you know, you've got the X Factor of Daniel Garcia. You know, there's a lot of different ways that could go. And so it seems like that pretty soon, I feel like pretty soon we'll start to see some pretty clear roster of people who are going to move over there. And I think we might be surprised at the names that they bring in.
I think we will. It'll be really nice to have Colt Cabana back. That'll be exciting. Maybe he'll even get to...
There was a part of me that thought, man, if Colt Cabana comes out and is in that Battle Royal on Rampage...
Oh my God.
That would have been pretty great.
That would have been fantastic.